Moby Dick, Chapter 40, Midnight Forecastle. And in this scene, there are harpooneers and sailors. The foresail rises and discovers the watch, all of them, standing, lounging, leaning, and lying in various attitudes, all singing in a chorus. Farewell and adieu to you ladies, Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu to you ladies of Spain. Our captain's command. When it interrupts, a first Nantucket sailor says, "Oh, boys, don't be sentimental. It's bad for the digestion. Take a tonic. Follow me." And he sings, and they all follow. Our captain stood upon the deck, a spyglass in his hand, a viewing of those gallant whales that blew at every strand. Oh, your tubs in your boats, my boys, and by your braces stand, and we'll have one of those fine whales, hand boys over hand. So be cheery, my lads, may your hearts never fail, while the bold harpooner is striking the wave. And the mate's voice from the quarterdeck below yells, "8 bells there, forward!" And the second Nantucket sailor says, "Avast!" The chorus, "8 bells there. Do you hear, bellboy? Strike the bell 8. Thou Pip, thou blackling, and let me call the watch. I've the sort of mouth for that, the hogshead mouth. So, and he thrusts his head down the scuttle. Starbalines, ahoy! 8 bells there below, tumble up." And the Dutch sailor says, "Grand snoozing tonight, lady. Fat night for that. I mark this in our old mogul's wine. It's quite as deadening to some as filliping to others. We sing, they sleep, I lie down there, like ground tier butts. At 'em again, there, take this copper pump, and hail 'em through it. Tell 'em to avast dreaming of their lasses. Tell 'em it's the resurrection. They must kiss their last and come to judgment. That's the way, that's it. Thy throat ain't spoiled with eating Amsterdam butter." And a French sailor says, "East, boys, let's have a jig or two before we ride to anchor in Blanket Bay. What say ye? There comes the other watch. Stand up, all legs. Pip, little Pip, hurrah with your tambourine." Pip says, he's very sulky and sleepy. He says, "Oh, I don't know where it is." French sailor said, "Beat thy bellies and whack their ears. Jig it, men, I say, merry's the word. Hurry, hurrah, dammy, won't you dance? Form now, Indian file, and gallop into the double shuffle. Throw yourselves, legs, legs." Iceland sailor says, "I don't like your floor, matey. It's too springy to my taste. I'm used to ice floors. I'm sorry to throw cold water on the subject, but excuse me." And the Maltese sailor says, "Me too. Where are your girls? But a fool would take his left hand to his right, by his right, and say to himself, 'How do you do? Partners. I must have partners.'" And the Sicilian sailor says, "Aye, girls are agreed. Then I'll hop with ye. Yea, turn, grasshopper." And the Long Island sailor says, Well, you sulkies, there's plenty more to us. Hoe corn when you say I. All legs go to harvest soon. Aye, here comes the music. Now for it." And an Azor sailor says, ascending and pitching the tambourine up the scuttle, "Here you are, Pip. And there's the windlass bits. Up ye mount. Now, boys." Half of them dance to the tambourine. Some go below, some sleep or lie among the coils of riggings. Oaths are plenty. The Azor sailor says, "Go it, Pip. Bang it, bellboy. Rig it, dig it, stig it, quig it, bellboy. Make fireflies, break the jinglers. Pip says, jinglers, you say? There goes another, dropped off. I pound it so. And the China sailor says, rattle thy teeth then, and pound away. Make a pagoda of thyself. And the French sailor says, merry man, hold up thy whoop, Pip, till I jump through it. Split jibs, tear yourself. And Tashtego says, quietly smoking, there's a white man. He calls that fun. I save my sweat. And the old Manx sailor says, I wonder whether those jolly lads bethink them of what they're dancing over. I'll dance over your grave, I will. That's the biggest threat of your night women that beat headwinds round corners. Oh, Christ, to think of the green navies and the green skull crews. Well, belike the whole world's a ball, as you scholars have it. And so 'tis right to make one ballroom of it. Dance on, lads, you're young, I was once. And the third Nantucket sailor says, Spello, this is worse than pulling whales in a calm. Give us a whiff, Tash. They cease dancing and gather in clusters. Meanwhile, the sky darkens and the wind rises. Alaska sailor says, by Brahma, boys, we douse sail soon. The skyborn high tide Ganges turn to wind. Thou showest thy black brows, Siva. And the Maltese sailor says, who's reclining and shaking his cap, it's the waves. The snow's caps turn to jig it now. They'll shake their tassels soon. Now would all the waves were women, and I'd go down and chase ye with them evermore. There's naught so sweet on earth, heaven may not watch it, as those swift glances of warm, wild bosoms in the dance, when the over-arboring arms hide such ripe, bursting grapes. And the Sicilian sailor, who's reclining, says, tell me none of it, none of it. Hark ye, lad. Fleet interlacings of the limbs, lithe swayings, coyings, flutterings, lip, heart, hip, all graze, unceasing touch and go. Not taste, observe ye, else come satiety. Hey, pagan? Hey? And the Tahitian sailor says, reclining on a mat, hail, holy nakedness of our dancing girls, the heaver. Ah, low-veiled, high-palmed Tahiti, I still rest me on thy mat, but the soft soil has slid. I saw thee woven in the wood, my mat, green the first day I brought ye thence. Now worn and wilted quite, ah me, not thou nor I can bear the change. How then, if so be transplanted to yon sky, hear I the roaring streams from Parohiti's peak of spears, when they leap down the crags and drown the villages. The blast, up spine and meet it. He jumps to his feet. The Portuguese sailor says, how the sea rolls washing against the side, stand for the reefing hearties. The winds are just crossing swords, pell-mell, they'll go lunging presently. And the Danish sailor says, crack, old ship. So long as thou crackest, thou holdest. Well done. The mate there holds ye to it stiffly. He's no more afraid than the Isle fort at Cattegat, put there to fight the Baltic with storm-lashed guns on which the sea salt cakes. And the fourth Nantucket sailor says, he has his orders, mind ye that. I heard old Ahab tell him he must always kill a squall, something as they burst a water spout with a pistol, fire your ship right into it. And the English sailor says, blood, but that old man's a grand old cove. We are the lads to hunt him up for his whale, hunt up his whale. And everyone says, aye. The old Manx sailor says, how the three pipes shake. Pines are the hardest sort of wood to live when shifted to any other soil. And here there's none but the crew's cursed clay. Steady, helmsman, steady. This is the sort of weather when brave hearts snap ashore and keeled hulls split at sea. Our captain's had his birthmark. Look yonder, boys, there's another in the sky, lurid like. See ye? All else pitch black. And the Dagu says, what of that? Who's afraid of blacks afraid of me? I'm squarried of it. And the Spanish sailor says, he wants to bully. The old grudge makes me touchy. Harpooner, thy race is the undeniable dark side of mankind, devilish dark at that. No offense. Tagu grimly says, none. And St. Iago's sailor says, that Spaniard's mad or drunk, but that can't be, or else in this one case our old mogul's firewaters are somewhat long in working. And the fifth Nantucket sailor says, what's that I saw? Lightning? Yes. And the Spanish sailor says, no, Dagu, showing his teeth. It's Dagu showing his teeth. And Dagu says, springing up, swallow thine, mannikins, wind, white skin, white liver. And the Spanish sailor says, meeting him, knife thee heartily, big frame, small spirit, all arow, arow, arow. And Tashtigo says, with a whiff, a roll, a row alow, a row aloft, gods and men, both brawlers, humph. And the Belfast sailor says, a row, a row, the Virgin be blessed, a row, plunge in with ye. And the English sailor says, fair play, snatch the Spaniard's knife, a ring, a ring. The old Manx sailor says, ready formed, there, the ringed horizon. Is that ring cane struck able? Sweet work, right work. No? Why then, God, madst thou the ring? And a mate's voice from the quarterdeck says, hands by the halyards, in topgallant sails, stand by the reef topsails. And they all say, the squall, jump, my jollies. They scatter. Pip says, shrinking under the windlass, jollies? Lord help such jollies. Crish, crash, there goes the jibstay. Bang, whang, God, duck lower, Pip. Here comes the royal yard. It's worse than being in the world woods the last day of the year. Who'd go climbing after chestnuts now? But there they go, all cursing, and here I don't. Fine prospects to them. They're on the road to heaven. Hold on hard, Jiminy, what a squall. For those chaps there are worse yet. They are your white squalls, they. White squalls? White whale? Sure. Here have I heard all that chat just now. And the white whale? Sure, but spoken of once. And only this evening it makes me jingle all like my tambourine. That anaconda of an old man swarm in to hunt him. Oh, thou big white god aloft there somewhere in yon darkness, have mercy on this small black boy down here. Preserve him from all men that have no bowels to feel fear.